Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders host Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns in an AFC matchup. Myles Garrett with another insane defensive performance. 4 sacks against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Unbelievable. The pace he is on right now is to break the NFL sack record of 22.5 from Michael Strahan a long time ago. And Garrett, he's probably going to get it. I mean, he could get 8 sacks in this game against the Raiders. I am very worried about the health of Geno Smith in this game. This Raider front just made the Dallas Cowboys front 7 look like one of the best in the league. 4 sacks of Geno Smith for major yardage. Not a great day from Geno overall. Did have some nice throws over the middle, but without any semblance of a run game. 12 carries for 27 yards. Not remotely good enough. A home loss to Dallas, and basically an epitome of the Raiders season where they've gotten a little bit of momentum earlier in the game. A big play by Maxx Crosby, but they're not able to punch it in. They kick the field goal, and just about all the air of the stadium comes out of it because the Dallas Cowboys are able to really go on a run and put up 24 points in that first half, and the Raiders kick, 3 field goals in that half. So Carlson kicked the ball well, but that was probably the best part of the Raiders, besides obviously good play from Maxx Crosby. When you're looking at these teams, I mean, Maxx Crosby and Myles Garrett, it's not at all too dissimilar from two dominant players at their position, both making in the $40+ million a year realm, and they get after the quarterback. And whoever is the quarterback for the Browns in this game, whether it be Shedeur Sanders once again, making his first career start, and it would be his second career appearance, or is it Dillon Gabriel? He's back from concussion. The concussion protocol right now is where he's in, and he would need to get back from that. And for this Cleveland team, Myles Garrett has been the best defensive player in the league probably for the last 3 seasons overall. I know Pat Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year, but Myles Garrett is having a ridiculous season. 2 games that they should have won just outright from him dominating up front and them not being able to do it because of an offense that has had no separation from their wide receivers. This is arguably one of the weaker receiving cores in the league. I know Cedric Tillman, you had expectations from him out of Tennessee. Harold Fannin Jr., bringing him in, you were excited, and you thought Jerry Jeudy could finally have a breakout year. There's Malachi Corley and Njoku at tight end. These are 5 guys you had a lot of faith in, and none of them have delivered really up to the level of expectations. Got to give probably the largest bit of some leash to would be Fannin because he is the rookie. But everyone else, I mean, you were expecting these guys to get open and this offensive line to play better than they have this year, and they just didn't do a good enough job for their quarterbacks against Baltimore in a defense that is really starting to play a lot better. That is 4 wins in a row for the Ravens. Of course, the talent that they've got in the secondary with Hamilton and Wiggins, Smith in the middle of that thing. Cleveland up 16-10. Shedeur comes in the game. They've got the ball, and that pretty much was the end. And Baltimore goes on that run for that win. So in this game, I think it's a heavy dose of Quinshon Judkins. There might be points in this one where it's better to just run the football 3 times in a row and punt it instead of opening up yourself to the possibility that Myles Garrett can that Maxx Crosby can wreck the game. And it's the exact same thing for the Raiders. Hand the football off to Ashton Jeanty, 12 carries, and 4 of them being from Geno Smith, a total of 8 carries for running backs in this game. That's just unacceptable from Chip Kelly. I know it's a very tough responsibility in trying to get this offense going. Don't fully envy that task in trying to dial that up against a very good Cleveland Browns defense. Don't be fooled by that record of 2-8. They still are one of the best defenses in the league. 4th in the league in sacks with 32. Myles Garrett has just under half of those. They've got 9 interceptions, and despite what the record is, they are +3 in turnover differential. That's good enough for 10th in the league. These are 2 of the worst offenses in the NFL, though. Points per game, they're right there in the teens. 16 points a game for Cleveland's 29th in the league. 15.5 a game for the Raiders is 30th. And then the yards per game, they're both sitting right around 270, which is second and third to last in the NFL. They don't possess the football all that often. So 2 teams that really have comparably been really tough to watch on the offensive side of the football. I'm going to be leaning in this game towards the the Las Vegas Raiders to win this game because of Geno Smith. I think it can come down to quarterback play. Who do you trust more in situations to push the ball down the field? Geno Smith being an experienced quarterback and proven that he can win games throughout his career. I trust him more than a Shedeur Sanders or a Dillon Gabriel in this game, despite having to go up against Myles Garrett and Schlesinger, who had a heck of a day against Baltimore. You got to trust the guy that's been the veteran, that's done it often enough, hasn't played very well this year. Not all of that's on him with the way that the offensive line has looked, and of course there's been injuries everywhere, but who hasn't had injuries and had to deal with all of that this season? So I'm feeling like the Raiders can win this game 21-20. Brock Bowers still remains a top 5, probably by my book. This is the best tight end now in the NFL. Give the man 15 targets. Just go after Brock Bowers. This receiving core outside of him, you tried to establish something with Trey Tucker. It was working well. It's Tyler Lockett from Seattle. But again, you compare these receiving cores to so many other teams across the league that have got these first-round picks allocated to that position. 2 first-rounders when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, Jefferson, Addison, these types of weapons, or the Chicago Bears, Odunze, DJ Moore, and Barton. Now, they've just put all those resources towards the receiving core. Or the Ravens take Zay Flowers, and the Bills, they go after and they get Keon Coleman. Taking those picks, it feels like this Raiders team badly needs a wide receiver to add, and where they're picking, they're going to have their opportunity to be able to get that guy. But it's also possible that they might go after quarterback in the exact same way that the Cleveland Browns might be going after quarterback. And obviously, this doesn't look to be that quarterback-heavy draft that this was presumed to be, where it's now looking like 2027 is going to be a great quarterback class. So I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game by a score of 21-20, getting the job done at home there in Vegas. Look, both of these teams are starving for success for a team that can not be a contender for the Super Bowl even, but just contending for the playoffs consistently, year in, year out. There are positives. You got to start with an edge player that is dominant. All right, now you got to pick up and have that left tackle and shore up the full offensive line, and then get your quarterback. So both of these teams a bit of a ways from doing that, both playing in very tough divisions. Cleveland having to deal with Lamar Jackson year in, year out, or Joe Burrow if he's healthy, and a Pittsburgh Steelers team that just doesn't go below 500. And then Vegas, I mean, that just might be the best division in the NFL, and it's a down year for KC and the Chargers with all they've dealt with. Still, you're dealing with one of the best teams in the league, if not the best, in the Broncos. So very tough divisions. The outlook for these teams, once again, it comes to the draft. How do they perform on draft day? The Browns, well, they're going to have that Jacksonville Jaguar first-round pick. Got to root against them. Travis Hunter goes to IR, so they did a good job. Judkins and Schlesinger, Mason Graham with the pieces, and they can have a big draft the first 2 days when the draft comes around in April and do a good job there. So this game, I know, is considered tanking could be wise for the draft positioning. I'm not going to argue fully against it because of how badly these two teams need help. But once again, it's an NFL game. We're excited for it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more Blitz with Blender content in the future. I'm Josh Blender, making NFL college videos every day, getting you set and ready for these matchups for the teams that we love and are so passionate about. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blender, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blender.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.